Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffe Kennedy, author of Fantasy Romance and Romantic Fantasy. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Mmm, yummy. You can see I have it, if you're on video, I have it extra foamy. Maybe a little too foamy. Let's see. Today is Thursday, May 20th. I'm out in the Grape Arbor. It's a sunny morning. First sunny morning we've had in a few days. Uh, Very rainy weather, which is awesome. We need the moisture, but a cool and wet spring. I keep saying that, don't I? Unusual for us. Most welcome. Very good for the plants. Ooh, my peony is about to bloom. Very pretty. And Jackson is in the kitchen window, meowing, complaining. I think maybe I can ignore him. Can you guys hear that? Ah, that brat of a cat. Let me go see if I can put him out. Jesus. There's some cat wrangling for you. I tried to put him out before, and he does this thing where there's a table by the front door where we keep his harness, and he jumps up on it, and then we put the harness on him because it's much easier than like trying to do it with him on the floor. He's a smart cat. He's fairly well trained. Well, he does this thing sometimes where he jumps up there and meows, and you go over to put his harness on him, and he runs off to the side. And that's what he was doing this morning until I came out here, and then he decided to camp out in the kitchen window and meow mournfully at like abandoned cat. And then when I went inside, he went and jumped on the table and stayed there. Hmm. Got a little bit of hail damage to the plants in the garden, but overall not too bad. Better hail damage than drought. So let's see. I got been doing well on Bright Familiar this week. It's funny, I wanted to call it Bright Links. Some of you might have noticed that when I self publish under Bright Links. And really, there's no particular reason for that. Sometimes people ask me if they should make up a publishing company name for their self publishing stuff. Hi, Ren. Oh, feeding your babies, huh? Go for it. Lots of work, I know. Yeah. So, the answer is it doesn't matter. Some people put a publishing company name on there so it doesn't look self-published. You can just self-publish under your name. It really doesn't matter. Um, I wouldn't do it to try to disguise the fact that you're self-publishing because um, I don't know, the people who you would actually want to fool, most people don't care, and the ones you'd actually want to fool could see through it really easily. So, why do I do it? So I've had the name Bright Links, which is Bright and then Lynx, all one word, for a really, really long time. And I've had brightlinks.com for a really long time. For a while, someone was trying to buy it from me, and I almost sold it, and then the deal fell through. But I've had Bright Links since the beginning of the internet. I mean, pretty much. Uh, when you could first buy domain names, I bought jeffekennedy.com and brightlinks.com. And Brightlinks was my business that I ran starting in like my early mid 20s because I did database work for people. And when I started doing creative writing, which is what my CPA called it, I think that's funny, as opposed to non creative writing, uh, I just used that same name for all of my sort of like extra income, my non day job salary income. And so when I first self published, I just kind of automatically did that under Brightlinks and called it Brightlinks Publishing. Um, and it was mostly just sort of to keep things under one umbrella for me. And I no longer do database work because the technology outpaced me. If you're not doing it constantly, um, you just get rusty and you don't know the tricks. And also, there's not a need for database stuff like there was then. We used to design our own spreadsheets and lookup tables and graphs and so forth. Um, we would use fields, and sort of design it from the ground up, and now everything's in a template. There's no call for it anymore. So, so Brightlinks is just something I've had for a long time, and I think right now I've just got it as kind of a redirect. It's just a good website name to have. Um, I'm sure it is because every once in a while somebody wants to buy it from me. Therein lies the value, and it's just handy to have another domain name. So that's why I do that. You don't have to. So Bright Familiar, not Brightlinks. Clearly, I like the word bright. All is bright. It's going well. Crossing fingers. I've gotten 3K every day so far this week. Story's going differently than I anticipated. Do I say that every time too? I think I do. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun. So what more can we ask for than that? I appreciate all of you who said that sexy times in the Arcanium is what you are here for. So there you go. There is also going to be house renovation porn, apparently. So, which I don't think I've ever particularly been inclined to do before. But I was filling out this interview yesterday for the release of The Promised Queen on Tuesday. And one of the things that they asked was if you were ever going to write in another genre, what would it be? Which I think I mean, these were canned interview questions. It was just like, well, pre-med, and I try not to do those, but then my St. Martin's publicist signed me up for some. But these, at least, there were a few I hadn't answered before. That's the thing, is I just don't like answering the exact same questions over and over. And I know many authors just keep their canned responses for those and just paste them in, and I never feel right doing that. So anyway, it's a funny question to ask somebody who's had as long and varied a career as I have, which of course the debut author gets the same question. But there aren't many genres I haven't written in. So it's sort of like, well, I don't know how to answer that question. Any? And really, that was how I answered it, was I said, I don't think in terms of genre. I think in terms of story, and I could write in any genre if that was what the story demanded. I think we may find out. Maybe I'm wrong. There are certain genres that require very specific tropes that I might not be good at. I'm not sure. I've been told I could write YA, and I just don't know that I could. People have said that I have could have a YA voice, and it's like, I don't know. There are just certain expectations of the YA genre that I don't love. Also, don't like the drama of the YA world. I'm not a drama type. So anyway, I don't remember what led me onto that particular tangent. Tangents are us here at First Cup of Coffee. We will never be satisfied. Yeah, so that's going all right. And I've also started a new secret project, which I'm working on something with Dorinda. and we're not writing together, but we are both writing something for a thing. And we tried to come up with a code name so that we could talk about it like this. And our code name would tell you exactly what we were doing it for. So it's like apparently we suck at code names. What code name shall I give it? Because what we've been calling it would give it away. Um, let's call it the V Project. The V Project. That'll work. Has nothing to do with the V card, the V Project. So, anyway, she and I are both trying to write something up. And we want to do this. It's like a totally new thing that I'm writing. Same for her. New world, new story. And we're trying to do it on top of the other things that we're writing. Don't start. Uh, I think I could do this. What we're doing is we're meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays, meeting on Zoom. Tuesdays and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. and writing for 1 hour on this V project. And see how that goes. I'm hoping that if it's distant enough from my other writing, that it won't impact. So we'll make sure. I still got my 3K yesterday. It was a slight bit of a stretch, but I had to stop at one for a Sephora finance meeting. And then I had to get my hairs did. See, you no longer see my roots. Um, and then I came back. I just had like 162 words yet, so I got those in. Um, so that'll be the big thing, is if it makes me tired, impacts my overall creativity. Um, I was not wanting to do it Tuesday night. I was not feeling the love. I was tired. Um, I was I even sent Dorinda a message saying, "Are we really going to do this?" It's funny because we take turns sending Zoom invitations. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. And I think she started it because you can fill in the subject line. Like their standard one is, please join the Zoom meeting in progress. And we've started exchanging like lines from movies or songs, or sayings, and replacing one of them with Zoom because it amuses us and we amuse each other. So it was my turn to send her the invite. So I sent her the Zoom invitation Tuesday evening with, is she really zooming out with him? Because I was feeling like, are we really going to do this? But then I got 941 words on my new secret project, which not incidentally pissed Dorinda off. She's like, how can you do that? You didn't even outline it. You didn't. Because I had to set up my spreadsheets, which I was grumbling about. I'm like, I don't even have the spreadsheet set up for this new project. So I guess, well, I'll just spend this first hour doing that. But then it didn't take very long. And she's like, I don't understand how you can just write the story like that. And I'm like, I don't understand how you can make up an outline without writing the story. It's like I just see the scene in my head and then, write it down. And she's like, so you knew where you were going to start? And I said, well, no, I had a guess where I was going to start, and I was hoping it would work. And that's kind of what I do, is I'll like start in a place and start writing and poke at it and see if it'll flow. Because you guys know, sometimes have had a number of false starts on stories. Uh, and I don't, and I said to her, I mean, she obviously has a much larger reader platform than I do, and she makes way more money than I do, sells more books. So I'm like, the way I do it is not necessarily a good way. Um, but I can I just go faster than she does. Is that good? We don't know. All depends on the measure of what you're trying to do, right? So, so I'm kind of excited about this V project. So we'll do another hour tonight, and I'll see how that goes. Um, it's a story I've been wanting to write for a long time. I have mentioned it here, but I don't think I gave it a code name. I was just saying, it was a new shiny. uh, it's a very sexy story. very sexy, more so than Sexy Times and the Arcanium. It is, it's almost more like Petals and Thorns, harkening back to the day. Not quite that full out. Petals and Thorns is BDSM, Beauty and the Beast, and this isn't that, like, I don't know, wall to wall erotic, but it is going to be a little bit of Dubcon, a soupçon of Dubcon, and yeah, I think it's a cool story. The V Project. There is a virgin in it, so it could be the V Card Project. I know that some people say that we shouldn't write so many stories about virgins, but I love that whole sexual initiation thing. You guys know that. So let's see. Oh, earrings before I forget. Today's earrings, kind of fun, huh? They are flat squares, very thin, flat squares set on the point so it makes a diamond shape. They are titanium, and it's got like a little, they're sort of, the titanium itself, like the back, is purpley, but it goes from purples and blues and golds, and then there is sort of an abstract design on the front. They are different, they're not identical. Let's see that there. And I bought these in, I can tell you exactly, 1986. Or was it 88? Maybe I can't tell you exactly. I think it was 88. 1988 spring break um, in San Francisco on Fisherman's Wharf, visiting my friend. It was spring break of my senior year, and I went out and visited one of my sorority sisters, my pledge mother, Sandy Moss, who had graduated the year before. And we spent a week tooling around San Francisco, eating and drinking, a lot of drinking, as I recall. It was very fun. And I remember buying these earrings from like like one of those little artist stalls on Fisherman's Wharf. And if for those of you who lived through the 80s, you know that titanium was really a thing for a while. We had so much titanium jewelry. Um, and these, I have these, and I have an ear cuff. I don't remember if I put the ear cuff on here. Um, I think those are my only survivors of that particular fad. So, but they always remind me of that week, and they're fun still. They're unusual and they interesting to look at. They don't show up as well as they did when I was blonde, but you do what you must. So let's see. I've got writer coffee this morning, so I think I'm going to tie things up and try to get in a few words on Bright Familiar. I wanted to say Bright Links again. I have to stop doing that, get that out of my head before I, head out and yak with the people. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else to tell you guys, but I don't think I do. All right, call her good. First Cup of Coffee is part of the Frolic Media Podcast Network, and you will find more podcasts you love at frolic.media/podcasts. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.